Hey guys, what's going on? And today I am going to show you how to solve the Rubik's Cube for look last layer. So that means 2 look OLL and 2 look PLL. Now, for those of you who don't know, OLL and PLL are steps in CFOP, it's the O and the P, or the Friedrich method. Now, OLL stands for orienting last layer, which means that you get all of the yellows facing upwards and on the last layer, and PLL stands for you put them all in the right position. Full OLL and PLL has a lot of algorithms, and it's more of an advanced method than an intermediate method, but I will be showing you the intermediate method where you separate both those steps into 2 steps. So we will be orienting the cross first, then orienting the corners. Then we will be permuting the corners, then permuting the edges. It reduces the number of algorithms. So it is more of an intermediate, and it is slightly slower, but it is much faster than the beginner's method or other methods. And you could definitely get sub 30 with this method. So let's get on with the video. Okay, so in the last video, I showed you how to do the cross and then F2L, which is getting in both the corners and the edges at the same time. Now, if you do not see that, I highly suggest that you do. Those are very important parts in this method. So, now I'm assuming you just watch those because they're right off in the side because they're in this playlist. I will put up timestamps. So first we're going to have to orient the cross. So the first case is the L. So it's like this, and how we're going to hold it is yellow on the top, but the L facing like this. And we're going to do it's called a wide move. You move the entire 2 layers like this. So wide F, R, U, R prime, U prime, wide F, and you have your cross. Now, the second case is a bar. So instead of a cross, it's a bar, and you could hold it anyway as long as the bar is going horizontally, and the yellow is facing up. Now you do the same exact thing, except you do just an F instead of a wide F. So F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime, and you have this. The last case is just a single dot. Now, what you do is you combine the 2 algorithms. So I suggest doing the single one first, and then doing this middle layer, because that is equivalent. So instead of having to go to undo that and then to have to do the wide move, you could do that if you want, but you could also just do that middle layer and then do the other one. And you just combine those 2 algorithms and anyway like that, and you get the cross. Okay, so that's those are all of the cases for getting the edges in the right way, and now for the cases that are getting the corners in the right way. Okay, the first case is if there is a single corner, and if that corner is facing, if a single corner here, and if you put that in the front left position, you look in the front right position, and there's either 2 possible ways. This yellow will face you, or this yellow will face away. This one is if the yellow is facing you. If the yellow is facing you, you hold the cube like this, and do the algorithm soon, or R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U2, R prime. And that gets all of these corners in the right orientation. Now the other similar one is if you have the corner here, but the yellow is facing away. Now you would want to hold it like this, so it's in the back right position, and you want to do anti-soon. So you hold it like this, and you do R, U2, R prime, U prime, R, U prime, R prime, and all of your corners are incorrectly. Okay, for this next case, it is if you have 2 incorrectly and they're across from each other like this. And it kind of looks like a bow tie here, and these 2 are flipped incorrectly. Now, you want to hold it so one yellow is facing here in the front left, and one is towards you, and the other one is over here, and you want it to face this way. And you hold it like this. This will require more wide moves. So it's F, R prime, F prime, wide R, U, R, U prime, wide F prime, or wide R prime. This next case is the one where you have two corners that are good, and you do not have a pair of headlights. They're on either side, like this and this, and this also requires wide moves. The algorithm is R wide, U, R prime, U prime, R wide prime, F, R, F prime. And all of these corners should be oriented properly. Okay, the next case is the one where you have two oriented properly, but there is a pair of headlights. Now you want to hold it with the headlights in the back, and then do an X prime rotation. That is where you take it, and then you take the cube and you basically rotate it like this. So now the yellow is facing you, and the algorithm is R, U prime, R prime, D, R, U2, R prime, D prime, R, U prime, R prime. And it should be good. Okay, the next case is where you have one pair of headlights facing like that, and one facing away, and then the other facing away, and none of them are oriented correctly. Like this, you would take the headlights and place them on the left and do this algorithm. R, U2, R2, U, R2, U, R2, U2, R. And you should be good. And the last case is where you have two pairs of headlights and none of the corners are oriented properly. So for this, you do F, and then you go R, U, R prime, U prime, and you do that 3 times. So R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, U prime, and then F prime. And it should be good. So now for the next step, it's permuting the corners. So there's only 2 cases for this. Technically 3 if you count it already being solved as a case. The first case is if you have headlights here and they're both correct, but then if you flip it around, then these are incorrect. So you basically just have to switch these 2 corners. Now for that, you want to do an X rotation. So it's now like this, and the white is facing in front, and it's R prime, U, R prime, D2, R, U, R prime, or no, R, U prime, R, D2, R2. And you should see all the corners should be permuted. Now the second case is a much longer algorithm. There's 2 ways you could do it. You could either just switch these 2 and then switch these 2. So do the algorithm I just showed you twice, but that's a lot slower. You could learn the slightly longer algorithm, which I highly recommend. So if all of the corners are wrong, you do so you can see it's like this, and you could basically hold it anywhere, and the algorithm is F, R, U prime, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, F, R, U, R prime, U prime, R prime, F, R, F prime. And you should see all of the corners are oriented properly. So for this next algorithm, it's where all of your corners are good, obviously, since we just did that step, and all of your corners are incorrect and need to be switched. So this one needs to be switched with this one needs to be switched with this one, because this is on the opposite side. So basically, to spot this algorithm, if you do a U2 move, then all of the edges should be correctly placed correctly, but you want all the corners to be placed correctly for this. Now for this, you can hold it wherever, as long as the top face is, well, facing the top. And for this, there's basically two ways to do this. One, if you use your left hand to do M moves, and one if you use your right hand to do M moves. So if you use your left hand to do M moves, I'll show you the right hand first, since that's what I do. You do M2, U prime, M2, U2, M2, U prime, M2. The other one is if you use your left hands for M moves. It's M2, U, M2, U2, M2, U, M2. So it's the same thing. It doesn't matter if you turn the top left or if you turn it clockwise or counterclockwise, really, as long as you stay the same. You could even do it with the right hand and do the like that, but I prefer like this because that's just faster for me. Okay, and this, you could basically do the same thing. It doesn't matter if you turn it clockwise or counterclockwise, as long as you stick with it. But if you usually use your right hand for M moves, you want to put the two you want to switch in the front and on the right. If you use your left hand, front and left. So I'm just going to show for the right hands, but if you use it for the left hand, you just, if I say U prime, do a U move, and if I say U, do a U prime. So I'm going to hold it like this. Okay, and the algorithm for this case is M prime, U, U prime, M2, U prime, M2, U prime, M prime, U2, M2, U. And now there's only two more cases. The first one is if you have a complete bar in the back here, and 3 of these edge pieces need to be 3 cycled. Now, if you hold the bar in the back, the first case is if this one on the right has to do a double turn to be correct. The other one is if it has to do a single turn, but we'll get that that one later. Now, the way I distinguish these two is I take, if it has to do a double turn, the first thing you do is a single turn. And if it has to do a single turn, the first thing you do is a double turn. So for the opposite edge piece, you do R, U prime, R, U, R, U, R, U prime, R prime, U prime, R2, and it's solved. Now for the second case is the same thing. You have a bar in the back, but now you have to do a single turn for this thing to be solved. Now I remember this because the first thing you do is a double turn. And the algorithm for this is R2, U, R, U, R prime, U prime, R prime, U prime, R prime, U, R prime. And it should be solved. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial for solving the Rubik's Cube for look last layer. And please leave a like and subscribe and hit that bell if you enjoyed. And I have one suggestion for you, and that is to practice. Maybe write all these algorithms down and learn like 1 or 2 a day, maybe 3. And you should be able to get this down in muscle memory in a little bit, and then you should definitely start seeing major results if you were using the beginner's method before, or other methods that were slower than this. So see you next time. Bye.